Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're taking a look at an awesome tip to help you improve at drafting. So, without further ado, let's get straight to the first tip. No, not that kind of bread. B.R.E.A.D is an acronym often used in draft. B for bombs, R for removals, E for evasion, A for aggro, and finally D for duds. This is the respective order of cards you want for your draft deck. For example, good bombs in the Excellence set would be Regisor Alpha, Carnage Tyrant, Repeating Barge, or even Watley Warrior Poet. Of course, there are a lot of bombs in every set, most of them being rares and mythics. Bombs are really important in draft. However, removals also are. Why? Because they allow you to get rid of your opponent's creatures. Now, let's take a look at Rivals of Ixalan, the newest set. As you can see, all those cards here get rid of your opponent's creatures by one way or another. They are all very effective. Even with those big bombs that you will probably play late in the game and those removals you use to control the board, you still need to deal some damage to your opponent in order to win the game. How do you do that? With evasive creatures. Evasive creatures are creatures that are difficult to block, such as flying, menace, and even creatures that cannot be blocked. Here are some evasive cards in Rivals of Ixalan. Sometimes you may want to put pressure on your opponent since the beginning of the game. How do you do that? By playing aggressive cards. Aggressive cards are mostly used to fill up your mana curve. However, sometimes you may want to win as early as possible, so you would need to play a lot of cheap creatures that are very efficient at attacking. This deck is a good example of a deck that wants to win as early as possible. As you can see here, I have two 1-drops. You might think it's not a lot, however, in draft and in 40 card decks, it is a lot. I hesitated between Grasping Scoundrel and Contract Killing, a 5-mana sorcery that destroys a creature and puts you to treasure. However, I took the Grasping Scoundrel because at this point of the draft, I didn't have Vicious Conquistador and I only had one 1-drop. So I took the Grasping Scoundrel to have a better mana curve and to try to win as early as possible. Here I have five 2-drops, and here most of my deck is in the 3-drops. And I have some 4-drops. As you can see, I have no rares and I have no bombs. Why? Because my goal is to win as early as possible and I won't have enough time to play my bombs. If you want to learn more about Vampire Aggro and Rivals of Ixalan, go check my in-depth guide about this kind of archetype. Finally, in the B.R.E.A.D acronym, we have the D letter for duds. Duds are mostly cards that you don't want to play because they are either too specific or just not good enough. As I just said, most of the time, duds are cards that don't help you get the board control, cards that aren't good enough, or cards that are too specific. So, I hope you now understand what cards you should take and the cards you shouldn't take based on what they do. Now, it is your turn to find out which cards are good and which cards aren't in a draft. Don't go in the internet. It's not useful. Actually, it won't help you. If you choose which card are good and which card aren't, you will improve very quickly at draft. So, I think this is going to be enough for today. I hope you enjoyed this little draft guide, and if you do, don't forget to like and subscribe. So, as always, I'll see you guys next time.